Visibility Care Show, the 20-minute show designed to give you the exact tools and tips to get you seen and found by your ideal client. Now join me in welcoming your host, the phenomenal Nake Essen.
Thank you again for joining us at the Visibility Cure Show. Now, this is a 20-minute show equipped and developed to give you the exact tools and tips to keep you visible and to keep your ideal clients finding you. Now, you must understand that visibility is just beyond having a Facebook profile or having an Instagram profile. It's more or less the art and science of ensuring that your ideal clients can find you profitably as the ideal solution to their problems. Now, today, we have on the show an amazing personality. My God, it took me to go 7 mountains, cross 7 seas, and every other person I could find on the earth to ensure that she comes on the show with us. And we're excited today to have the amazing, the awesome, the one and only Jokotade. Jokotade is a multi-passionate entrepreneur, and she helps people learn how to win in life, in love, and in business. She basically helps you to have more clarity and more focus so that you can have real results and feel less overwhelmed. We know that one of the real issues that a lot of entrepreneurs have right now is because they are overwhelmed. We don't know exactly where to channel our passion, where to channel our skills, because we have a lot of them, and we don't want anyone to suffer. So Jokotade is going to help us with the process to reduce our overwhelm and help us to be much fulfilled in our business. So thank you, Jokotade, for joining us today.
My pleasure. I'm excited to be here. I was just laughing inside of me on that 7 oceans, 7 seas, 7 mountains. My goodness. So thank you for having me. I'm just delighted to be here.
We're super excited to have you. So like I said, we would like to hear a little bit about you to know how you've been able to put all your passion into various actionable and profitable channels and systems. Because a lot of entrepreneurs in Nigeria, the entrepreneurial bust has come, whether we like it or not. But however, it's still difficult for people to find their message, find their purpose, and to fulfill their mission here, basically, as it were, because everything's all about profit. So just give us a brief intro as to how you've been able to achieve all of these results and how you've risen above your peers to live the life that you have always dreamed about.
Okay. This is exciting. I want to make a disclaimer. Quite contrary to what many entrepreneurs think. Many entrepreneurs look at, we'll call them celebrity entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs that have made it and have made a mark on the world. And they think or they believe that those people just have it. They had it easy. Things just happened for them. They had a perfect plan. They had everything, all their I's dotted and T's crossed. But I will tell you that that's not quite the case. At least for me, I became an accidental entrepreneur. I had moved to the United States in 1997 with my parents. I was just wrapping up my teenage years then. And when we got here, I had to get to work. I'd finished secondary school in Ijaniki. I went to Federal Government College, Ijaniki, Lagos. Woohoo! And rather, as soon as I finished, I moved here with my parents and we got settled in. And because of my status, my residential status, I had to sit it out for a year to be a formal resident of my state. And so that just meant that I couldn't go to school immediately. I couldn't qualify for certain things and all of that. So I got here and I started working. And my first job, Nanke, you're not going to believe it, but my first job was hair braiding. That was the first job that I got, and it was hair braiding at my aunt's salon. She's a hairstylist, and she had a little shop that she was growing and developing. And so I would wake up in the morning and go to work. I would braid hair. I would clean the shop. I would organize the shop. Pretty much, I was a help for my aunt. But that's what I have to do, and that's what I started doing. And as I worked with her for a full year, the opportunity for me to go to the university, we call it college here, but the opportunity for me to go to college, otherwise known as university, that now became available. And so I was able to take my hair braiding skills because I was not one of those ones that braided hair in secondary school. You remember those I never did my hair, never. But condition, they say condition make what?
Bend.
So this fish had to bend a bit. And so I took my hair braiding skills and I took it with me to the university. I started braiding hair. I found a small job on campus as a librarian, but then I also continued with my hair braiding work on the side so that I could earn money because pretty much my family was starting all over again here in the United States. We're starting from zero. We had no place, nothing. And so I did that. And as I did that, that helped me pay my way, besides scholarships, that helped me pay my way through college. And then eventually, on my fourth year, I got an opportunity to intern. I studied computer information systems, not computer science, but computer information systems in school, which is a Bachelor in Business Administration degree. My major was CIS or computer information systems, and I did that, and I got this great opportunity to intern. So I got this internship, and the internship took me on with almost a promise it was almost guaranteed that they would transition you. So once they bring you in as an intern, they'll transition you into your full-time corporate work. And so once I graduated and I finished up, I kind of let my manager know, hey, I'm ready and all that. And they said, well, just give us a little bit of time to figure it all out. Well, as I settled into the work, that time never came because one day I show up, I'm not joking, I show up to work one day, I'm there doing my work, working hard, excited about my corporate career starting, and my boss calls my desk phone and says, hey, you want to come into my office? So I go in to hear the most shocking news a young person could hear at that time. And that he just simply told me, hey, Enron just went down and it's really dragged
you were in the Enron
the economy. I was in the era of Enron. We were the fresh IT students that came out at the time of Enron.
You guys made us have the Sarbanes-Oxley's law. Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. I'm not joking. Like, Enron just, and anyone, just in case, some people may not be familiar with the Enron story. Enron was a multinational.
It was a case study in grad school, trust me. It was a huge,
I'm telling you, just global organization, multi-billion-dollar corporation that went down financially and just killed many people pretty much financially and all that. So anyway, so that dragged the Houston economy down because Enron was based here in Houston, Texas. So, he told me, well, you understand what's going on with the economy, blah, blah, blah. We're sorry. Not only can we not bring you on full time, but we're going to have to lay you off as an intern.
Oh, wow.
So I got laid off as an intern. And I'm like, okay, so when is this supposed to take effect? They're like, immediately. And so I had to get up right after that meeting, go to my desk, pack up my things, and I had to leave the building. I felt like a failure because it wasn't everyone in my department they let go. So I was one of the few people that they let go. And I felt that I was not pulling my weight. I felt that I must have failed. I felt little of myself. I felt, even though I'd done well in school, I just felt like there was no future and there was no hope for me. But Nanke, I will tell you that I didn't realize that it was a setup, that God had a better plan for me. And so once I left that company, I had to find something I could do at the time, something small. So I found this easy to enter job. They called it advertising executive, but it was just a fancy name for selling yellow pages. And this was the onset of the internet. So I was with this company for a couple of months, and I started to see, after trying to sell to customers like, hey, I could advertise on the internet. So I saw that these guys were consistently hiring people to sell what was going obsolete. And I saw the writing on the wall, and I said, these guys are not seeing the writing on the wall, because the big guys were in their nice offices, and here we are running up and down. They won't pay you for your gasoline. You were responsible for that. So after doing that for a couple of months, about 2 months or so, I started doing some research. That yearning, what can I do? What can I do? Now, I looked at my path. I looked at my hair braiding experience. I looked at how I'd helped my aunt, because while I was there, I helped her business grow so much that she was able to travel. I would put some systems in place. So I looked at my path, and I looked at my experience. I looked at my organizational skills as a librarian. You see, all these miniature jobs, quote unquote, all these small jobs that we've all had to do in life that we overlook. What I didn't know was that it was all a path. what I would need. Yes, it's what I would need. And so I saw how I could multitask very effectively. I could work well under pressure, and I was always willing to do anything. So I think one of the graces I've received in my life is the ability to just humble myself to get the job done. So I worry about pride later. I just get the job done, you know? So anyway, the idea, as I researched, I saw that there was a name given to what I was trying to do. And the name given to what I was trying to do, a person that could do many different things at the same time and get paid by the hour, was known as a concierge. And so I established this concierge business, and I started researching. In fact, by this time I'd gotten married now, and I told my husband, I said, hey, honey, I want to take all these planning, organizational skills, all these running around skills that I have, and make it into a concierge business. So he asked me, so who do I know that is a concierge? But I told him, I said, well, that's just, I don't know anyone, but this is just the best label I could find based on my research that could help me launch into something I could do without having to purchase inventory. It was something that would pay me for my time. And I had a car, I had time, and I had strength and ability and agility. And I said, okay, I'll just do it. And it was a complete leap of faith for me. And so from there, I started talking with people. Because I researched what I could call myself, I started talking with people, corporate people. Hey, if you need me to pick up your children because you're working, I can do it. If you need me to pick up your dry cleaning, I can do it. If you need me to do anything because you're busy, I will take it off of you and I will do it. And so again, I was able to identify or find a good label for what it is that I want to do. I call it, in my 7-figure school, I call it Tangify. As an entrepreneur, you must be able to tangify your idea. And by that, I mean, make your idea tangible enough for people to understand. You know, Nanke, many of us that are entrepreneurs, we have great ideas, but we don't make it tangible enough for the consumer. And as long as we don't make it tangible enough for them, they don't know how we can help them. So if there's any tip I want to leave for an entrepreneur listening to me right now, tangify your idea, make it tangible, make it make sense to the end party so they can hire you. If people are asking you several questions, it's an inkling, or it's a leaning that they don't quite get what you are doing yet. So if you love to inspire people, okay, that's great, but people don't understand what that is. Oh, I inspire people. They're like, how? How do you inspire people? Do you inspire people through speaking? Do you inspire people through writing? Do you inspire people through products? Do you create products that inspire people? What is it exactly that you do to inspire people? And so that's where my journey as an entrepreneur went to another level. Now, let me kind of back up a little bit. When I was 6, I started helping my mom with her luxury business. I would take shoes. My mom would go abroad, bring shoes home. I would take some shoes and take them to my teachers in school and show them and convince them to buy. And then my mom moved into the typewriting. Remember IBM typewriters? Do you remember? My mom was one of the first to bring them to Nigeria. No joke. So I would sign up on invoices and all of that. So I watched my mom do several businesses. Then at a point, she owned a hair salon. She sold, okay, I've talked about shoes. She sold fabric. There were so many things. She sold gold. There were so many things that my mom did. Now, why is this important? This is important as an entrepreneur because you want to pay attention to your own path in life. What have you been exposed to? What do you have experience in? And so because I had that, I was able to bring that mindset that anything is possible to sell, as long as it's legal, of course, but you can sell anything if you get to know the product, if you understand the way it works, if you're able to make it tangible to the end consumer, and then if you know who you are going after. When my mom was selling typewriters, she was targeting business owners, okay, or small corporation. Yes, when she was selling shoes, she was targeting up and coming women who were working professionals. Okay, when she opened up a salon, she owned a salon in Tejuosho, so she would bring hair in from abroad. When she traveled, then she'll import hair and bring it. So she became the few shops in Tejuosho that had imported hair. So she also hired hairdressers to buy, use the hair and braid it on people or sew it on or things like that. So I got exposed to these concepts. And that's one thing that you want to do as an entrepreneur. You want to expose yourself. Don't sit at home and say, oh, I have this great idea and, oh, people are not buying you. You try one of your friends and you say business is not moving. No, you've got to go to where people are. Where are they? So in my case, I was the medium that my mom used to get to the teachers that wanted imported shoes. Do you understand what I mean? And so in your case, what is your own position as an entrepreneur? At the time of this concierge business, for me at the time, it was just working professionals, okay? Working professionals. And so I focused on that. I looked beyond my friends because my friends were up and coming and they could not. Absolutely, they couldn't pay at the time. During my research, I saw that once I was able to make my product or offerings tangible, I saw that I could charge $25 per hour. Then we're talking about how many years ago? This is over 10 years ago. $25 an hour. Then, I mean, working professionals were willing to pay that for the safety and security of me picking up their children from school. Do you understand what I mean? And I think another tip there would be willing. Don't be humble. Be humble. When you're starting out and you're trying to figure things out, don't come with a chip on your shoulder saying, oh, I'm more than that. No, as an entrepreneur at a certain level, you are not more than anything. In fact, you need to be everything at the onset. So anyway, I started with this, focused on this corporate professional. Then they started referring me to their friends. And then after a while, I also looked into other areas. I saw that corporations that planned a lot of events needed hands-on help. So a friend of mine who reached out to me and said, hey, I don't have much to pay, but are you willing to support me and be a runaround person for corporate events? So she hosted an event then that had Microsoft, that had a bunch of these other big corporations. And I said, hey, no problem. She was paying $8 or $8.50 an hour. Okay, I took it. I said I would do it. Now, what I didn't know was that this was setting me up because once I gained that experience, whenever my own clients asked me about events, guess what I did? Of course, I was able to say I have experience. Yes, I understood how it worked based off of what? Willingness. So after a while, do you know that I started getting more and more event gigs or event jobs, and then from there I didn't even get, in fact I didn't have time to do private people anymore. I started doing a lot of events, and that now allowed me to evolve my concierge business into an event planning, design, and production company. And I became one of the top 3 producers in Houston. Can you believe it? Now, where did it all start from? Let's back up a little bit. From my when I was 6 years old, right? 6 years old, helping my mom. Because as I grew, I saw problems as an opportunity. Because I learned that my job is to solve problems regardless of the industry, as long as I'm capable of doing it. So I got a chance to do several different things. And then after doing several different things, I was able to identify what I wanted to focus on and what I wanted my niche to be. You understand what I mean, right? So my concierge business grew into this big event production company. Now I have a strong design arm of my company. And I mean, I'm grateful. I am one of the top producers here. And again, my clientele here is 95% American. I rarely get Nigerian clientele. I'm not joking. Rarely do I get Nigerian clientele. You know what they say? They say, oh, because of my brand, I've built my brand really well. So I'm very polished with my brand. I mean, I'm actually in a new studio right now. So there's nothing on the walls, but I'm in a brand new studio right now. And it attracts that clientele. So when they come in here and I quote them $1,500 for an invoice, or I quote them $5,000 or $10,000, they see the money. They see it in my experience. They see it in my brand presentation. They see it in my willingness to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And so as a result, it has helped with my visibility, because they then talk about me. They go online, they rave about me, they write reviews about me. And then also, I've learned some of the secrets of the trade. I participate in trade shows, which is going to where the customers are at. And so for my industry, which is the wedding and event industry, there are big bridal shows. I go, I participate. It costs a lot of money, but I participate, and people get to know me more. And that's another tip as well. Take yourself out of your place and take yourself out there for people to discover you. And because I didn't sit with only my friends, and I went to where my clients are, more Americans discovered me. Okay? And the truth is, many of them are willing, because they understand the business. They don't undermine my business. They're willing to pay for an hour of my time. So if I sit with a customer and the customer books with me, Nanke, if I sit with them on the average, depending on what kind of event they're planning or they're putting together, my invoice can range anywhere from $1,500 to what somebody asked. One client tried to call my bluff. What is the largest ticket you've ever done, or whatever? And I said to them, hey, I've had one client spend $40,000 with me. One client. And it all began from willingness to do whatever it takes, willing to take my business out to where these kind of clients can call me. And in fact, I think I have to write a book, Nanke, about some of my millionaire clients and the lessons they've taught me, and the lessons I've learned. I've had the opportunity to serve some of the wealthiest people in our world today. And of course, I've also had the opportunity to serve people that didn't have money. And that's another thing. Don't discriminate your clientele. Yeah. There was one time, one young lady approached me. Her budget was so tiny, Nanke. She spent only $200 with me. And I did it as though she was spending $2,000 or $20,000 with me. Do you know, within a week, she referred me to another friend who spent $2,000 with me. Do you see that? And that's the thing. You again, humility. Humility has been, let's just say, has been something that has helped me, and that has helped me significantly. My faith, of course, and my faith has been a foundation for me to grow in that area. Just don't discriminate people. Don't treat people badly, because you never know. In fact, I'll end with this story. There was one time I was just there in my showroom, my smaller showroom then. And I welcomed these people. I greeted them, and I didn't know that this guy is a big footballer. I mean, I could tell that the guy was big, in stature, but I didn't know who he was. But when I was writing up the invoice, I said, who spends this kind of money? So I Googled him. I just had the link, just Googled him. Now, okay, this is exactly what I did in front of my computer. I was like, what? You've got to be kidding me. Really? And then one other time, another client of mine, they found me online and they just left a casual message. Hi, my name is, she told me her name, and she didn't leave her last name. She just said, we're interested in hiring your services. Would you call us back? Please give us a call back. So I get in, I tell my assistant, call them back and find out what it is that they want. Now, the first part of their planning, or some of the work that needed us to do, the first bill was $3,500 or $5,000 or something like that. And so this was just for the engagement. This was just for the engagement party. This was not for the wedding. So they now to know that what they really want, come to find out that her father was one of the wealthiest men in the world. He hired, in fact, he just bought an estate where they would hold the wedding. Okay, if I never returned that customer's call, how will they find me? Do you understand? How will I complete that cycle of finding? Yes. So many people have given up opportunities because they were careless, did not call people back, discriminated, were not humble. They're looking at the Tara Fela Durotoye's now, forgetting that Tara did 1 million things. You know what I mean? Forgetting that, I saw some of her pictures from back in the days. She did not look as glamorous as she looked today. Nanke, I've also you've got to be willing to sacrifice. Nanke, there have been times that I've had to sacrifice bags, nice things that my friends are carrying. You know, my friends will come in with their Rolexes and Chanels and everything, and I'm like, God, what about me? And I'm hearing it's you're not allowed, not yet. You're not allowed. Invest this money in your business. Put it right back into your business. And so now people are saying, wow, Jokotade, wow. Now the speaking thing that I do came later on. It came later on. And because I had experience in real life, people were willing to listen to what I had to say. Okay? So maybe there's somebody there saying, oh, they want to be a speaker, they want to host a show like you and me, they want to do this and they want to do that. This is my recommendation. Take your entrepreneurial life seriously. You know, and then that would give you a good foundation for people to believe you. See, now that I'm speaking, right, I'm speaking from what? From experience. I'm not telling you principles are just empty principles. No, 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 no. I'm telling you what I have lived. Over here, I started out as a hair braider before I became a top producer in the wedding and event industry here. In an international market that I have an accent, although yes, I've worked on speaking well, but I have an accent. I wasn't born here. And then now most of my clientele are people from here. So how much more you listening that you're dealing with people that are like you? How much more? Okay, so the odds were really against me, and I have learned anything is possible. I really believe, you know, that scripture that all things are possible. I really believe it. It's kind of like my life motto. I really don't believe that anything is impossible. I really don't. I just believe that, you know, with the right faith and the right attitude, I really can do anything. And so those are some of the things that I want to share in terms of visibility. You know, everyday simple principles that people overlook, and then they now want to be multi-millionaires. No, you got to start from zero. You have to know how to work your zero and how to overcome your zeros. So let me close with this. The number zero, Nanke, when we were in school, a math teacher taught us that when you put zero in front of a number, what does it do?
It increases the number, actually.
No, not behind the number. When you put zero before one, what does it do?
It reduces the number.
Yes, it almost negates the number. It devalues the number. It renders the number invaluable. So that's in this scenario, the number one is the entrepreneur, you and me. The number zero is the challenges, the obstacles, the things that we face. As an entrepreneur, your goal is to get that zero behind you. Now, once you get zero behind one, what does it become?
It increases. It becomes 10.
Okay, and you add another zero, what does it become?
100.
When you add a third zero, what does it become? When you add another zero, what does it become?
Almost 10,000 now. We are going back.
Okay, when we add 6 zeros behind one, what does it become?
1 million, baby.
1 million, baby, and on and on. So what's the goal? The goal is look at your zeros in the face and find a way to rise above them and get your zeros behind you. And that in itself will get you from where you are to where you want to be in the future.
Awesome.
All right?
Awesome. I must say this was very amazing. It's totally fantastic. You know, you said a couple of things that actually resonated, particularly with this part of the world where we are. You spoke about enjoying where you currently are, right? Whatever you have been called to do right now, do it well. Because it is that experience that will help you to capitalize on the opportunities that you're going to have in the future. And really, the economy isn't that fantastic right here, and people are losing their jobs every single time. Now, imagine if they had done their job excellently well. They had learned something in terms of soft skills, in terms of organization skills, negotiation skills, and all of that. Those will have been things that people can easily put on their resume, and it helps them in the entrepreneurial journey. So one thing I have learned basically is that you need to identify where you are right now, enjoy it, and do it diligently. Absolutely. But at the end of the day, these particular skills would be, what you will leverage on in the future. Now, something else that you mentioned is that we need to be able to tangify our idea. And that stood out for me because, again, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, a lot of us are multi-passionate. But you have said basically that give yourself the opportunity to enjoy the process. You know, outlive every single point of your passion, of your skill, and then put it all together to find what you like. You started from selling shoes to typewriters to everything under the planet. and you found yourself on your concierge business to actually doing event management and planning, which is your resting place. I mean, only God knows what's going to happen tomorrow, as in what other passion of yours will be birthed out of this. But you have found,
I'm telling you, I design now so much.
Exactly. But then you have found now your place where you thrive, 100%. Now, something else that I took out of here is in terms of visibility. Guys, you need to go out to where your clients are. Your job is not for them to find you. It is for you to find where they are. Yes. And basically actually give them the tangibility of your service. Because if you don't put a name that I can understand as your clientele or as your client, I won't see the need for you. So you must be able to explain it. And beyond that, these experiences are very essential. Just as Jokotade has really taken time to explain to us based off of our experience, and I have taken my time to also explain to you on various times we have met based on my experience, you must gather this experience and try to see life differently. The moment you see life as a journey where you can always plug and play, and learn from the experience and put them together as your CV, basically. It helps in you being able to solve problems in the future, being able to stand out, and being able to be, seen as that visible human being or that visible business that can actually solve problems effectively. I mean, this has been an awesome time sharing this moment with you, because I know that a lot of entrepreneurs are in this particular place in Nigeria right now, trying to find the balance between work and business, between profit and business, between being a mom, and basically finding a profitable path with them. So this has really helped. So I'll just ask you one more question. I really want you to help me and the entrepreneurs that are listening to put this into 2 or 3 pillars. What are the 2 or 3 most important pillars that business owners need to absolutely have before they venture into business, whilst they're in business and getting confused, and just so that they can have a perfect way for bringing out the results that they really desire in their business?
Okay. I do have 3 pillars that have become very core for me. And number 1 is, I stress that, willingness. Don't overlook don't overlook anything. I'm telling you, be very intentional about every single thing. The people who are willing, the people who are intentional, they get to rise above others. Now there's a second part to it, or once you're willing, you want to be very focused. Now, what do I mean by that? When you have an opportunity in front of you, I'll give an instance. Many times people will reach out to me because they've seen that I've lived the entrepreneurial life. They would reach out to me and they would say, "Oh, Jokotade, I've got this great idea," and all of that. And I check back with them, Nanka, in 3 months, 6 months, and they've already given up. I'm thinking, you've got to be kidding me. Because I'm like, do you think that if I did not focus on what I had in front of me, I would be here now? No. So once you have a willing attitude, focus on what you have in front of you at the moment. If you are a cleaner, I'm just throwing it out there. If you're just cleaning small businesses, focus on it, because you never know where cleaning will take you. Do you understand what I mean? Many people they're looking for end result. They want to sit in a nice office, but they never ever remember that it takes a janitor to sustain a building of this capacity or of this size. So focus on what you have in front of you and see it through until there's no place else for it to go. So I did concierge services until there was no place else for it to go. And then guess what I did? Instead of quitting, I evolved. So don't quit, evolve. If something is no longer working, make sure you've done everything you possibly can. And then once you walk away, you look back and you say, yes, I gave you my best shot. I will tell you, Nanke, I gave myself all those experiences. I gave it my very best shot. When I was braiding hair, I braided hair so well. Now, Nanke, do you know, I don't like messing with my hair. Thank you. To even style my hair, Nanke, I don't want to style it because I've done all the hair I need to do in my lifetime, at some season in my life. So do what you have in front of you so well. If you're sewing, sew as if you're sewing for the first lady of a country. Do it so well, because you may become a a stylist, a consultant, to leaders of the free world. You don't know what you can do. Yeah. All right. And then finally, the last one is knowledge. So I've talked about willingness. I've talked about focus, and the third is knowledge. Nanke, I've never been the smartest student in the class. You know those people that before the teacher asks the question, they know the question and they know the answer. I've never been that kind of student. Never been. But I learned that if I calm down, do the research I need to do, and I apply willingness and focus, I come out to the top. That's how I got the scholarship. There was a scholarship that I got here in university. The maximum number of times you could get it was 3 times. Namke, I did not have a 4.0 GPA. In fact, my girlfriend, who had a 4.0 GPA, did not get the scholarship.
Wow.
But guess what? Yeah, she didn't get the scholarship so much that she said, I want to see your application. She thought I lied on my application. But when she picked up a copy of my application afterwards, she saw that there were so many things that she did not do. So she had the brains, but she did not have the knowledge to present herself well. So I had a 3 point something GPA. I didn't have a 4, but I discovered the knowledge that if you're not the sharpest, know how to present yourself the very best. So in my application form, oh my God, Nanke, you would think that I was the lead, I was a president. And the way I presented it, in fact, I presented it as though my life depended on it. And it did at that time. So getting that knowledge and applying it and putting it and submitting that application got me that scholarship not once, not twice, but 3 times without a 4.0 GPA. So the lesson here is get exposed. Many people are not exposed and they don't expose themselves. My most valuable asset in life, Nanke, is my library, not my handbags. In fact, I'm not nothing else but my library of books. Because of what it has done for me, it has opened doors for me. It has given me access. Because when I'm with wealthy people, guess what? Because I have knowledge, I know how to comport myself. Yes. So when they're speaking with me, they know that, oh, this one, if we give her $20,000, she won't run away with it. She'll deliver on the job. Why? I've gained knowledge that wealthy people like people they can depend on. And this is how you work with wealthy people. Do you understand? Wealthy people like people, they don't care about fluff. They don't care about empty words. They care about you delivering. So I went to learn all of those things. How? Books, interviews, reviews, checking out, learning from people. When they come, I also observe, how do they carry themselves? You know, in fact, one client came here the other day, and when she put her handbag, she wanted to put her handbag on the floor because the table was full. The seats were full. So I told her, I said, oh, don't worry, I won't sit down. You can place it here. She could not believe it. He said, oh my God. I said, oh, you don't put that kind of handbag on the floor. She was blown away. She said, well, obviously, if this girl knows the kind of handbag that it is, and she's not acting silly around me, and she's still composed, then she must, she's not going to take my money and run with it. Nanke, she booked me, her invoice was 7,500. Okay? Now, where did it all come from? Knowledge and exposure. So expose yourself. Get out of your circles. I didn't say forget your friends, but get out of your circles. Go find out what is out there. What is relevant to your industry? How do your clients, how do they behave? How do they speak? How do you compose yourself around? How do you dress when you're going to see a client like that? If the first lady were to ever come into your presence, how would you carry yourself? Things like that. Get knowledge. Knowledge will give you access to where your peers will not even make it into. Okay? So again, willingness, focus, and knowledge.
Truthfully, if you remain in the frame, you can see the picture. So I really absolutely enjoyed this time with you. I feel like coveting this video for myself only, but no, it's for the general public. I'm very excited. Thank you so much. You have really buttressed on the point of hard work, on the point of knowledge. Self-development is extremely key. You don't understand the amount of value and wisdom and knowledge that lies in, the binds of books. So we need to dig into them and then use them. Not only reading them, not only listening to the show, but actually taking some time to act. Take action. So Jokotade would like to know, where can we find you? Where can my people find you?
You can find me of course, on social media at Jokotade Show. But my home online is jokotade.com, and it has all of the information about me. I also have an app I have an app. It's free. It's free to download. The app houses all of my all of my products and resources, especially my free resources. I mean, just listening to my app. A lady wrote me a love letter the other day. Just she was just so thankful. She said she has the app and it's been such a great resource for her. You get to hear all the many different topics that I talk about. I do care about, especially I care about women and women doing well in business and doing well in their love lives, because I think, a woman who's doing well in her love life and has money, oh, she's unstoppable. She's unstoppable. You know what I mean? That's not to say that if she doesn't have a love life, she won't do well. No, no, no. I'm just saying that's primarily the dream of many women, to be in love and to make money. I mean, can you beat that combination? So I try to inspire women along those lines. I also have a strong male following as well. But of course, nothing beats hanging out with the girls naturally. And my big heart is for entrepreneurs as well, because that's the life that I've lived. And leaders. I love to inspire difference makers. So find me online at jokotade.com. Download the app. It's free on any of the app stores. Just search Jokotade or Jokotade app and it will come up. And then find me on social media at Jokotade Show. Write me. I do respond. I do my best to respond. Write me and reach out. I do my best. Not immediately, but I will try to get back to everyone. Okay?
Absolutely. Thank you. And so, I know you had mentioned something around all things work together for those who believe, but what would you say is your life philosophy in 140 words?
My life philosophy. I think I said it already that nothing is impossible. I'm being honest. Okay, let's put it this way. So I'm a believer, and I believe in the Lord Jesus, and I really believe God's word that that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and that's a scripture that I've lived my life by, and I really live my business life, my marriage, my family, because I am a mom, and I live my life based on that scripture that I really believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that's my life philosophy. I'm being honest with you. And as a result, I don't see obstacles as obstacles. I see them as opportunities. And I keep reaching and I keep climbing. So that's it.
So if your life were to be a movie, what would it be titled?
If my life were to be a movie, what would it be titled? I don't know. I have two words. Can I use the titles?
Okay.
I don't know. I think my first word would be inspired. A movie about inspired. I want the Jokotade name to be synonymous with inspiration, really. And so I would say inspired, and I would say possibility. I think those would be my top two words: inspired, possible.
Making the movie I'll go to watch.
Inspired.
Inspired.
Jokotade, one in the inspired woman. I don't know.
Something around the line.
But those would be two keywords for me: inspired, possible.
Awesome. It was great to hang out with you. Guys, one last thing I learned from this show. If your theories don't work for you, you better go dump it in the trash. Ensure to get experience that people can live by. Storify your knowledge. Make it tangible. Be willing, focus, and have a lot of knowledge, that you can put together to ensure that all of these experiences you have turn into a profitable business and one that you can enjoy and that can live after you in the long run. Thank you so much, Jokotade, for being on the show tonight. We really had fun. Thank you. And thank you all for joining us at the Visibility Cure Show. It's really awesome to bring seasoned entrepreneurs and industry experts who are willing to give their knowledge for you to be able to live a full life and the fulfilled life that you've always wanted. And also for your clients to see you, for you to be visible, because you are learning absolutely amazing nuggets that can help you not only build the foundations of your business, but ensure that you're building a solid and effective, system for people to always see you as that active entrepreneur. Thank you so much. We can't wait to have you again on the show. We will see you some other time.